First of all, it's just a very good thing that they made this video in the first place. That's impressive enough as it is. Just 1 million worldwide downloads on the demo for this game. And the number of friggin' responses, that's like, holy crap. Like, the US almost had 10,000. This is something that I was wanting to address. And I just, like, all I can say for this point is people need to fucking read the demo. Like, I can't stress that enough. The demo literally said on its first, this little page right here, as you went into it, this demo is going to be significantly more difficult than the base game. That is exactly what it said. And you know what? It was a great challenge. I thought it was wonderful. I had a great time playing that. Yeah, it was harder, but it made it a hell of a lot more fun. Like Bernard, I thought I could have lost it a second, but it was great to be gripping on the edge and, making it through to the end. But again, like, it just kind of annoys me that people were getting upset over the difficulty when they specifically said at the very beginning that this demo is going to be harder than the base game. So, or the actual release. It's just something that annoys me personally, because like when people complain about it, it's like, well, they've already said. Okay. Now, I'm not going to shit on this too hard. I'm not going to get angry at this. This isn't an improvement. Everybody who's played a Bravely Default game, this is not an improvement. This has existed in every game, and both every game since the inception of Bravely. There has always been the difficulty option. You can always change your difficulty option. This is not an improvement. This is something that was going to be in the base game. However, they are putting it here so that people who see it, who are watching this video for the improvements, are seeing it. That is the point of putting this in here. It was going to be in the base game. I'm saying this like as it is. This theory, I'm like 99% sure is the case. This was already going to be in the game, but they put it here to show that you can adjust the difficulty. And I think that's a really smart move on their part. I was not surprised by this in the slightest. Again, I might even play, actually, through my first playthrough on hard because I really, really liked that difficulty during the demo. That was great. Like, that was a really, really fun difficulty. Because I usually played through default and second just on normal mode because I'm fine with that. I'll go into hard mode if I want to challenge myself with harder bosses later on, but I usually go normal. But I might just go hard on this one. So we'll see. This super looks awesome. I like this. I am completely fine with this. I think this is a really good implementation so that they can keep the system that they wanted to implement, because they wanted to change it up from plan all your moves and then just let them go at it. Do you think they should have changed it to the turn system from default and second, or do you like this change? So yeah, this is what I'm just addressing. So I don't mean that to come off rudely. I just want to answer your question right away. So this is a really good compromise, I think, because this allows them to keep the system that they wanted to do, where everybody is completely random at this point, and you don't get to plan out your entire turn strat in one go and then just throw them at each other. I prefer the previous system. Yeah, I'm the same way. I prefer the previous system, but I am fine with this change up. This is a new game, new world, everything's new. I'm fine with mixing it up a little bit and seeing how this is going to go. This, however, is necessary, and I'm so happy that they put it in. Being able to see, it's very clear. It's a very obvious indicator of, who is going. It's also very obvious who you are. I really like the little picture. It even has if you notice, it even has the class setup. It's not like the freelancer skin. It is the person as they're dressed up, and that's great. I really, really like that. Oh, thank you, Real Sam the Man. Um, so I really love this system. I think this is a perfect compromise that we needed for this game. I would have preferred, I would have loved to have the old system back, but you know what? Things change with games. I'm okay with this. I'm totally fine with this system now, as it is. Before, it was a fucking disaster. It was so hard to tell who was going to go, how long buffs were going to last. Like, now I can actually plan things out a little bit more because I can plan for this. Um, yeah, that's all I got to say for that, pretty much. Yeah, like that's one thing. That's a really good thing that they pointed out is that like being able to obviously see when the enemy gets to attack is one of the reasons Bravely can be super easy. Is because you know when they're going to come at you. If a boss just went and if they change it due to speed, it's fine. But if it's completely random with character, that's a problem. The fun part. That is true. Um, that is true, and I am going to miss that. But I am fine with this. I think this is more of a balancing thing, and I know that Bravely is known for its crazy combos that you can pull off and whatnot. But I think they want to try and balance it a bit more with this entry into the series. And so, not showing when enemies are going to be able to attack again until the moment before they're going to is uh, definitely going to help because now you're not planning around when your enemy has negative 2 BP because the boss just took 2 brave actions when they had no BP, right? Okay, you're just going to defend that turn and then you're going to smack the shit out of them for 2. That's what happens. We all do it. Now we can't do that. And that's, I think that's really something. So you got to like keep in mind and pay. You have to be a lot more conscious of what you're doing. And I'm totally for that. Instead of just brain deading the game. Yeah, that's exactly it. Tactical certainty and exciting unknowability. That is exactly what they wanted to do, and I think this really accomplishes it as well, and making it easier for the player. Because without the bar before, it was I couldn't stand it. Like I couldn't stand how long. I had no idea of how long buffs were lasting from Vanguard or debuffs on the enemy. It was driving me nuts, especially during the fight against Bernard. That's just good quality of life. I'm fine with this. Like I don't have a problem with it. It's just good quality of life. I probably won't skip it because I love the opening, unless I'm like really trying to grind. But I think it's fine. Again, that's a great change. Makes it much more obvious. Less reading required because you have that face right there in the middle of your menu, so you're constantly being reminded of who is acting. I'm still not a fan of the horizontal aspect of the menu. Again, I love the fact that Bravely Default and Bravely Second can be played with just the left hand on the left side of your DS. Because it's just up and down, and then when you go into the right, it means you're going into a menu, and you know that. Um, but you know what? I'm fine with the face showing up. That's going to make it a hell of a lot easier. This is good. This is much cleaner. This on the left is cluttered as all hell. That is just trying to force so much information into a screen. I love the new one. It's so much cleaner. If they change the center around speed. Yeah, I'd be fine with it if it was centered around speed. I'm actually a little bit surprised that uh, that I was not the only one who had issues with this. I thought that I was just being a whiny little baby, and I was like, the monsters are hitting me too much. No, it wasn't just me. I'm actually really happy that they addressed this. So we'll get into what they changed in a minute. Yeah. So that looks like the speed is dependent on the monster, and I think that's a really interesting change. Possibly, I could be wrong, or they're just slower, and I think that's okay. Um, that was I don't this thing weaker enemies now run away. That was already a thing in the demo. If no one noticed, that was the thing that happened. If I farmed it up to level 20 because it's me. But yeah, once you hit a certain point, there were enemies that would run away like that in the demo. Hydra, hey, how you doing? We're just going through the changes and whatnot, what I thought of it. Um, but yeah, this was already something that was in the demo. Um, I think it's a really clever thing. That I didn't notice. I did not notice the glowing red. That might not have been in the demo. It could have been. It could not have been. I don't know. I don't think that was in the demo. I don't remember seeing the underdog bonus. If it was, I've completely forgotten about it. But I think that's a really nice thing. We already have pretty much the Castle Knight guy looks hilariously perfect. Yeah, he does. Um, yeah, this is a good little bonus on top of the like the one turn victory, all that stuff. They're good. Me neither. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is a good. I like this edition. I think that's really helpful because some of those later grinds, like especially in default, getting like some of those last jobs were really nasty. So I think this is a really good touch because it applies to both your EXP and your job points. The title's going over both, from the looks of it. So I look forward to getting that. If you go back a few seconds in the show, changes UI, you can see a new job. Let's take a look. It's on Elvis, say. Oh, right there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're guessing red mage. Yeah, it looks something like a red mage because he's holding clearly a wand or a rod there. So yeah, he's got some kind of mage thing going on. If only it was selected onto him, then we'd have a better look, probably. Oh, there it is right there. There is the red outfit. So if anyone can read Japanese, give that a read. The gambler is going to be risky at working. I think I think here's what's going to happen with the gambler is there's going to be abilities that will help increase your odds of something happening, and someone is going to figure out a fucking method to just spam the living daylights out of a certain ability that is going to be busted beyond belief. It's going to happen, I'm thinking. But we don't know what the class exactly does yet, so it looked like there was some attacking abilities, but we'll go back to the field. This I didn't have too much of a problem of, the sweeping the sword, but I do think it's a good touch, another quality of life change. I really like it. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good quality of life change. You struggled? Okay. It wasn't something for me. This is nice. I know a lot of people were complaining about this, and I was worried that they might just change the overall actual look of it, but this is good. I actually really like this. It's far cleaner. It's a lot brighter, so it's way easier to read. These are night and day now. Looking at it, like the black outline on the white text actually looks like crap. by comparison. This is very nice. This is not. I'm very happy with this. Like, I was fine with it, and I know there was a lot of people that were complaining, but now that I see the difference, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's actually really bad. But I was worried that they were going to change the aesthetic of it, because I like this kind of wood and panels and paper, worn paper and journal kind of look to it. Like, I really like that. So, but it looks so good now. It looks so nice. God, oh, I want it. Yeah, I hated this, having to do these fucking weird maneuvers when trying to read actions and abilities and menus. Thank you, Noah. Glad you got some Bravely news on your birthday. Yeah, I'm really happy about that. Yeah, I'm super happy. 16 people. Holy moly. Thank you, Tom. Yeah. Uh I'm really, really in a good mood about this. But yeah, this was like really, really. I don't know why they did that. That was a weird. Yeah, they've been rethought. I'm glad you rethought them. It's just kind of weird. Oh, the boat shipper. Yeah, same. Thanks, Light Dragon. I had to put with minus. Ugh. There it is, boys. The number one change. We did it. Bravely Default 2. Perfect game. It's done. It's absolutely perfect now. You can change the default button. We're done here. The game is perfect. It's winning 20 Game of the Year 2021. We're done. We got it. No, that's thank you. Thank you very, very, very much. Um, that's kind of something that um, I'm surprised a lot more games don't have these days, is just being able to reconfigure your entire remote. Like, I know Devil May Cry 5 had that, but I wish that was just kind of an option. I don't know how difficult it would be. Like, from at least my understanding of computers and programming, it shouldn't be that difficult to program, but maybe it is. Maybe it's harder than I think. So, perfect game. What the hell's that? What the fuck? What's this? Over here. What is this? Look at this. It sets in like some kind of weird royal outfit and he's wielding an axe. That's a king if I've ever seen one. Yeah, it looks like a king job, yeah? Another stupid complaint I have is that BP isn't blue. Why isn't it blue? I I don't know. Maybe it's because there was a lot of sandy environments, so it would stand. They wanted it to stand out a bit better for the demo, at least. So that might be a thing. February 26th. I feel like the devs have the passion, but it's almost like they address the problems at a superficial level. They got complaints that the game was too hard, but instead of. That's just kind of people's fault. That's just people not reading, I think. Thinking about why the game is more difficult than in the past. I I I don't think people read the opening, and like, yeah, that's understandable. Like, people just want to get into the demo, so they're not going to bother reading any of the shit. But I really blame they just made the game easy. I don't think that's going to be the case unless you're playing the game on casual, because as that was seemed to be the easy mode. I don't think this game is going to be too easy for you. I'm hoping that's not the case because mode wise, again, like, I think that like the modes were already something that was going to be in the game, and they're just showing it off here to show people who were worried about the difficulty that you can change the difficulty. Don't worry. Come back. Play the game, please. We do have difficulty options. It's just we didn't have them. I just don't think it will be too easy either. One thing. Yeah, I'm probably gonna play on normal, but I am actually debating whether I'm gonna play through it the first time on hard. Um, so we'll see what happens. That's not usually me. Usually I like to enjoy my experience without too much difficulty. I just like to immerse myself in the game itself, and that's why I usually just go normal difficulty. Because I usually have a fair enough difficulty with that. One thing I miss is the rate of battles. Um, I'm fine with this. I'm fine with it because you can kind of control. You have some level of control as to your rate of combat. With default and second, it's like you can count it. You have this like timer in the back of your head. If you played enough Bravely Default, Bravely Second, and you know your settings for the encounter rates, you know in your head how many steps you can take before you're going to encounter a monster. It's always the same. It's always the same. It's so many steps and then encounter. So I always go hard first time. Nice. It also took me a year and a half to get the training in default, so maybe that says something. Now I think about it, the world would seem empty without monster training. That's the thing, right? Is like now we've scaled the world to be so much larger, which is really cool. Like you can actually run across the land. Whereas in default and second, it was kind of like you're basically a fast travel character running, you're giant running across the country, right? It was just an embodiment of a representation of you traveling across the country. But this one, you are actually real time size. So if there was no monsters, it would feel pretty empty. And that's kind of the case with Octopath, to be perfectly honest. The game does feel a little empty, but the world looks beautiful. So, if it was the same way either way, I could accept it. What do we got here? That was a comment from Mr. Sam. That's all right. I'll give that a good read later. So that's that. I didn't actually watch the rest of the direct. I just kind of came with the camera to the sky. Yeah, probably just because there's nothing there, but it'd be pretty interesting if like they do some kind of weird twist with that. It's anything is literally possible with these people. We could watch the rest of the direct. I didn't actually watch it.